an Trinity mixed farm. Amewacha here 2016. Trinity wacha here kede ko pepita bolo. Bolo teti muranga be. Ero temi to ni miro ho expanding. Out looking around utamu coffee nung ni coffee la gere tia ber eto bergina me jo apol tia tim. Tene no cocoa out settling for cocoa. Now, as we speak, Trinity has about 10 acres of cocoa. And Karamonena ni cocoa tia tim maber. They're deciding we need to go out and promote it. We started this drive to promote cocoa in northern Uganda in 2023. During that time, I think we were about 3 or 4 farmers who had planted cocoa. And the motivation was the lack of cash crop that we have. We know that previously this sub-region used to be known for cotton growing, but as we speak now, you rarely see any cocoa farm or any cocoa plantation in the sub-region. The only thing people are left with now is simsim. They grow maize, whose prices, keep on dropping. So we thought of coming up also with some alternative cash crop to develop LANGO sub-region. That is how cocoa came into being. We did a lot of research to understand the agronomy, to understand the conditions for growing cocoa. Then we realized that the sub-region actually has the same conditions that are there in Ghana, that are there in Ivory Coast, that are there in Nigeria. Those are the known cocoa growing countries in Africa, aside from Latin America, we talk of Brazil. So the same rainfall that we need is the same that those people have. So we decided to go into cocoa growing, and then 2023, like I said, we decided to go out and promote. The first large-scale cocoa seedlings that we produced was this one in 2023. Late 2023, we were preparing for the planting season of 2024, first season April. So we raised 65,000 seedlings in this bed. Then the demand was overwhelming. Seedlings were not enough. So we decided to expand the second bed that you see here, which is even having a bigger capacity of, this one raises up to around 70,000, 70 to 80,000 seedlings. Still, in 2024, when the planting was large scale, 2025, the seedlings were again not enough. Now we decided to separate, because we started with promoting cocoa in LANGO sub-region, but now we have added on TESO and ACHOLI. TESO, we talk of Greater TESO, that is KUMAM and the TESO. So now, as we speak, we are targeting 3 sub-regions: LANGO, ACHOLI, and TESO. Now, this bed here in Dokolo is targeting to serve farmers from LANGO, Dokolo, Amolatar, and parts of Lira, Leptong, then also TESO sub-region. Then we have established another bed, which we are going to go to after here, in Lira City. That bed has a capacity of 200,000 seedlings, which we have already raised 180,000. So together, this year, we have more than 250,000 seedlings of cocoa. We want to make sure by 2030, most parts in Lao have at least every household has at least 100 stems of cocoa in their backyard. And that is one way we are going to increase production and also to fight household poverty. Now, our cocoa promotion agenda is right within the government program, the government plan for cocoa promotion. The government plans to have 500,000 metric tons of cocoa export by 2027, which I don't know whether we shall beat the target, but we want to contribute to that target. Then by 2030, the government plans to have more. So we want to be part of that journey with the government. We want to help farmers do this project, and we are going to be there. We have had overwhelming reaction. The community have been very proactive. People are interested in learning. In fact, we have hosted several learning institutions here. We have hosted several individuals, groups who organized themselves to come and tour and learn. I can mention we have hosted Lira University that came here. We have hosted the Lion College. We have hosted a group of clan leaders. We have visitors who came from as far as Kumi last year, of about 35 people. And they have all been motivated to go and pick up. We have a group of farmers in Soroti. They come from Orungo, about 30 of them who came here and planted. They have established. We have several other small groups that come to tour. So I can say that the reaction to cocoa growing in these sub-regions, the Lao, TESO, and ACHOLI, have been massive. People are willing to learn, people are willing to take it up, and also we are here to support. There is a popular saying that cocoa is a lazy man's crop. Cocoa is a lazy man's crop because it is very easy to manage. I talked about the planting bit of it. When you want to plant, first of all, you are going to use the normal spacing that we use for most trees. Pines, eucalyptus, it is 3 by 3 meters. The holes you are going to dig 2 feet deep, 2 feet wide. Then you plant. Now, management is just like any other crop. You know, you are supposed to look out for any pest attacks, any disease outbreak, any bad breed that you have around, you can replace so that you have a uniform garden. So it is very easy to manage. Now, the first 6 months of cocoa life is very critical, just like any newborn. When you remove from the bed here, you transplant to the mother garden, the first 6 months is very critical. Then it again extends to the first 1 year. Now, the first 6 months, you have to keep them weed-free. If you are to do mulching, do mulching. You have to look out for the pests, like I said, and diseases that can come in, and you respond accordingly. Then you also have to, we normally want to advise, because when you're establishing your cocoa farm, we advise that you fence it off, which most farmers tend to, ignore. But fencing off is going to save you from a lot of stray animals, especially in these sub-regions where people are cattle keepers. Okay, the goats, the cows are all roaming around. So you need to do some bit of fencing so that you avoid trespass by even individuals or invasion by animals. Yeah. So generally, the management bit of it, like when it grows now to a certain level, the 3rd year, you can start slashing. You may not need to, weed through digging, but you can slash. Yeah, I normally ask my trainees that have you ever heard that coffee, the market for coffee is not there in any year? I normally ask that question, which is not true. The prices can fluctuate, which is normal in any business engagement. Prices can fluctuate, but the market is always there. This is an international commodity. You are not only selling it in Uganda here. It is not like maize where, but this is traded in the global market. So the market is readily available. The only thing we're encouraging farmers to do is to be farmers of integrity, farmers of honesty. We don't want to hear cases of jackfruit seed mixed in cocoa, Let's have quality cocoa beans. Let us have quality cocoa plants, because quality starts from seedlings. In fact, when we are training, we shall tell you that for you to come up with a good quality cocoa plantation, it starts from seed selection. The seedlings that you're buying should be of quality. Okay? So that is how you're also going to get quality beans. Then the market out there will accept your beans based on the quality, and then you will get the required price.
Binangyong ngichikom kokoa na chiel ngato chakoti tabero awitongwa John Bosco kelo eno pero coffee ete ko ya anung ka ramo peto kokoa piene winyo ni kokoa dok ya bara ka do te yi ko chakara ma bitu bere tiame Trinity farm ene yo aka te wori chakara na ja ma beri chakara na ja ote nong ni niadong don ye pien I punya me wana nuo kuno mi wa gena duongi kokata wero ginara ba ata bino gama dan kori kuno dong me data pito en kore no ena dong ina dong karni do terra mama hario me do per pere bino mama hario exactly do mango so mana bina pirro tiene mi area piera beach area ni tie about 0.9 of an acre buja roma acre here tama tieni yung man ka dong kita de nan dang dong tinya ke ko ni yung man da rom me de pito pian mano no bere chara experimental. Menen ni karang pit dang peronyo. Nyakatite.
Why should you choose Trinity Mixed Farm to buy your seedlings? First of all, we are not raising seedlings out of the blue. Since 2023, we have been involved in a number of trainings. We have attended a training by Nakori in Mukono. We have attended a training by the Ministry of Agriculture in Mbale. We have had several trainings and workshop engagements with the FAO on cocoa. So we have invested a lot of time in learning more about cocoa growing and how to raise quality seedlings. Now, what is happening out there is that we have some small bed operators who are also introducing cocoa seedlings in their farm, rather in their beds. We are not discouraging people to buy from them, but we are only saying anyone who is going to raise seedlings should first of all be able to know the source of where the seed is coming from. I would implore you that when you go there, you ask them where they got their seed, so that you don't raise something from where you cannot explain. You see, these plants grow like this, but there is growing, then they fail to give you what you are looking for. By that one, I mean the yields. So when you go for seed selection, for us when we are buying these cocoa pods from places like Hoima, we look for trees that are producing good quality. You see, like a tree like this one, it tells you that if you propagate the seed from it, will also give you high yields. You can see all those ones that we have there. A tree like this one. So you don't just pick pods from any tree. Okay? You don't just pick pods from any tree. You have to see how the tree is producing, and then you propagate. So this is why I encourage you to buy seedlings from places that are known. I think it is how come you know I may be so local. I think I been a pruning begin. Can I know I man ko nan kita gina anyaka menuti tungi. Porni, by the way, Porni Uncle Sam. It is going to have one of the best. It is another combination above the ground. But the I want to get you repair. Piano pruning, John.
Yes.
Come into shoot water bear, come mana yaki.
No, the chocolate.
Never go piano. You don't know when to really be gen. Eh, you keep Macon, I want to go in. By the way, what you're seeing now, this is not peak season. The peak of this thing was between October. Peak harvest was between October and Jan. Now what you see we have harvested. These are young ones that are still maturing. But if you came back around July, you will see the entire tree covered with pods. The yielding is really impressive.
So how do you manage this garden?
For now, what we know is that with the time, these cocoa plants form a canopy. Now, once there's a canopy, they kind of tend to interfere with the undergrowth. So we shall have an open thing. You can even see already. We are just trying to do minor weeding. But already the weeds are being suppressed by the shedding leaves. Yeah. realize that within the farm, you're seeing some young plants, then those mature plants, and that is part of management. We advise that you don't plant and even if one dies, you just leave like that. You have to do gap filling. So this one is less than 3 years old, just the way you see it. It is one that we replaced. We have several within the farm which are young. That is just to show you that you don't give up. Now you see a plant like this one. It is younger than the rest. It is not yet pruned well. This one we use a hot pipe. We're going to use a hot pipe. This, you remember when you went to the farm, you saw how we are drying some, and this one here you see is about 3 bags. A bag of cocoa beans weighs about 70 kilograms, and 3 bags here, they are ready for sale. You can see the quality of beans we have, well fermented. The drying takes about 4 to 5 days depending on the weather. This one I think took us about 3 days. It is ready for the market. Yeah.
Thank you.
So this is what we are talking about. If your garden has no trees and you lack shade, we encourage you to plant using bananas. So you can see this entire expansion here, we didn't have enough shade trees. So every cocoa seedling has a banana attached to it to give it temporary shade. Okay. So this is an expansion, the 2 acres that we expanded. Okay, like we talked about last time, these are some of the cocoa beans from the farm where we visited. And as you can see, these ones we have about, here we have about 3 bags. A bag of cocoa weighs about 70 to 75 kilograms. So we have about 3 bags here, and you can see they are ready for sale. Thank you very much, Oroma TV and QFM, for giving us the opportunity to showcase what we are doing here to the world. My name is Solomon Adim. For those of you who are regulars on social media, YouTube and TikTok, I think you have seen a number of our videos circulating where we hosted very many institutions, individuals, and then organized farmers who have come here to tour the farm, specifically to learn about cocoa growing. We have been doing this for the last close to 10 years now, because the farm was started in 2016, where we demonstrated with banana growing. Now we expanded to include cocoa. As we moved on, cocoa has become a dominant demonstration crop in the farm, and we have extended the crop outside the farm. We are now promoting it in 3 sub-regions: LANGO, ACHOLI and TESO. Greater TESO, which includes KUMAM. We moved around. We have seen the things we are doing, some of the best practices that we are doing. You have seen the seedlings. Now I want to talk briefly about cocoa agronomy. Cocoa is very easy to plant. It is very easy to manage. All you need to do is to start with the seed selection. In here, like I said, we have over 80,000 seedlings raised now. But for starters, you need to know where you're getting the seed from, because most of our seed in the last 3 years have been coming from Hoima, and we are hopeful in the coming year, given how we have been able to mark the trees that are yielding well, we are going to start getting seed from this farm. because as we speak, it is now more than 7 years old. Then we have the other section which we are expanding, but the first that we planted in 2020, they are now making 7 years. So we shall be good to go with the picking seed from here. Now, if you're an intending cocoa farmer or you're a potential cocoa farmer, just quick things you need to know is that this plant requires a lot of rainfall. This plant requires a lot of care in its first year, but we even break the first year into two. The first 6 months is also very critical, that you have to do a lot of tendering, a lot of care, to make them grow into what you want them to be. The computer people will tell you garbage in, garbage out. So you plant poor seedling, poor quality seedling, you'll get poor yields in the end. We normally use a benchmark of 1 acre. So 1 acre will plant you 450 seedlings. But I should say between 400 and 450 seedlings goes in 1 acre in a measure of 3 by 3 meters. The hole you are going to dig 2 feet deep, and then the width will also be 2 feet wide, which we say 2 by 2 feet. The type of soil you need is sandy loam soil, which we tend to have almost everywhere in the sub-regions that we are promoting. So you need sandy loam soil to grow cocoa well. It doesn't do well in the swampy areas, so when you're planting, you avoid swampy areas or areas where water logged. It has to be well-drained soil. Then the rainfall, like I said, it requires rain between 1,500 to 2,200 millimeters per annum. In some books, you will see they have put 1,200 millimeters per annum. But as long as you receive, like for our sub-regions here that we are concentrating on, including West Nile, we have 2 rainy seasons. The first rainy season is April to around June. Then we have that short dry spell of July to around mid-August. Then the second season sets in. So those 2 seasons are enough for you to plant, especially when you plant in the first season. Then you receive 2 heavy rainy seasons. So those 2 seasons are enough for them to establish well and also to cover that cycle of 1 year, which is the most critical. We also have cases where people want to plant in September, second season. That we also encourage, but we say you don't go large scale. It is usually for those who want to learn. So you can do 1 acre or 2, but the most critical thing is that you need to have a water source. Just in case dry season sets in, you need to plan for a water source, whether you planted in the first season or in second season. You really have to plan for some sort of irrigation, just in case there is intense drought, which we experience here between late December and mid-March, before the rain is setting. So you don't need a lot of expertise to plant and manage cocoa. All you need to do is to go through a basic training which we provide here at the farm. Every planting season, before the planting season, we bring people here and then we train them, those who are planning to engage. Then also for those who are unable to come, I receive a lot of calls where I give guidance on phone. It is the basic that you need. Then, because for the meantime, we are focusing mainly on the planting and then managing between the first 1 and 2 years. Then now we are going to start switching, because we have farmers that planted in 2024 who have started seeing fruits. So we are going to switch the training focus now to harvest and post-harvest handling, then serious marketing. Now, that will also require us to form kind of a cooperative. We are We are going to bring our farmers together to form a cooperative, that the marketing will be made easier. We are going to do trainings on harvest, post-harvest handling, and then value addition. So that if we need to sell at least semi-finished or finished product in the long run. So it is not a very difficult crop to plant and manage. It is very simple. The basic trainings that we do will give you all the technical know-how as a farmer, and you'll be able to manage. Then where there are emerging issues in the farm, that we are also available for consultation. You call and then we give you guidance. Now, this farm is currently open to tours. You can call us, then we arrange the logistics that you need to come and tour the farm. Then, like I said in the beginning, we have best quality seedlings you can get around. I don't want to say that we are currently operating the biggest cocoa bed in the whole country, but I don't know how many people will have up to 250,000 plus seedlings raised for this season. And also our established capacity is actually for over 1 million seedlings, because our target is that in the next 5 or so years, LANGO, ACHOLI, TESO, and West Nile, which we work in partnership with the other cocoa growers there, like James Baba, who is promoting cocoa in West Nile. We have some consultants like Atama, Mike Drajole, who also we work in partnership with. So in the next 5 or 10 years, we should have the North positioning itself as the cocoa destination in Uganda. And with our capacity, with what we are doing here, we can expand the bed capacity to 1 million seedlings per season. So I think basically that is.
Maybe you can also as well talk about, you remember at first I asked you on the issue of providing seeds when you are planting cocoa.
Yeah, thank you. Cocoa is a shade plant. It requires shade for it to thrive well. And there are specific shade trees that we recommend. First of all, we don't recommend pines. We don't recommend eucalyptus. Then even teak. There are some trees are heavy feeders. Some have discharge chemicals that are not good for cocoa. But the recommended trees, we have musisi, we have terminaria, we have griveria. Then also now, because cocoa is an agroforestry crop, that we want to do environmental, we are promoting sustainable cocoa growing. So you can also spare some indigenous trees that you have, provided the indigenous tree has a shade regulation of up to 70%. Okay, it shouldn't be too cold, and it shouldn't be too hot. So the warmth there should be lukewarm. That is the best condition that cocoa requires to thrive. So if you intend to plant cocoa now and you have a bare garden without any trees, we are not going to tell you to first grow trees, then you wait for 5 years, then you start introducing cocoa. No. We actually have a technology that has been tried. You can plant your cocoa with the bananas as a temporary shade, and then within the 3-4 years that the cocoa is growing to start dominating the farm, you have also introduced these permanent shade trees that we are talking about that will replace bananas. Remember, cocoa will automatically dominate and then will kill the banana plants. So as you're planting cocoa with bananas now, you also plan for shade trees that will replace the bananas. Okay? Yeah.
Okay. Talk about the farmers that have been benefiting from your farm here. that you gave them cocoa seedlings?
Thank you. As we speak now, we have more than 500 farmers who have registered with us. Remember, I said when we started going public with this cocoa promotion drive in 2023, a lot of farmers showed interest. People would come here for trainings. We have conducted more than 5 trainings now, organized. But there are those that come on their own as individuals. But the ones that we have organized and trained, there are more than 5 now. So people would come in numbers. Then they pick interest, we register them, but others show up, others don't show up. Now, as we speak, we have more than 200 people who have planted cocoa. Because between 2023, late 2023 and now, we have distributed more than 250,000 seedlings. And the people who planted in late 2023 and early 2024 are already seeing fruits.
Okay.
Yeah.
There are some farmers that still believe that cocoa do not grow in our area, most especially in LANGO and northern Uganda.
Yeah. That is a myth. For you to say that cocoa does not grow in the north, it is a myth. Those were colonial myths that we are trying to, discourage. We have done it. The reason why we started by setting up our demo farm is to show people that it happens, it can grow here. So you have seen for yourselves, we have people who have come here and seen for themselves how the things are doing well. The only thing that I want to emphasize is that we are in a region where at times dry season can be intense. So that is why we emphasize you having a water source, just in case the rain becomes too much. Now, for instance, this year, we were prepared. All the irrigation system you saw in the garden, we didn't have them. But it was the dry season of last year that opened our eyes. So we prepared for any adversity, which is similar to the one of last year. You all agree that last year the country experienced unexpected kind of high levels of, dry weather. So if you're entering into this kind of farming, first of all, this is not farming that you're just doing for the sake. You're doing it for money because it makes money. It is like when you go to the West and see how people are tending to their coffee and tea plantations. They invest a lot of money and time because they expect to get money. Now, similarly, when you're investing in cocoa, make sure that you have the basics available. You have the right team, especially if you're going large scale. And large scale, I mean, if you have more than 2 acres, it may be difficult for you to do it alone. Now, if you have from 2 acres onwards, I think you need to have a team that is fairly qualified to manage cocoa. You should put in place the basics. I talked about fencing. You're not going to set up 2 acres and you leave it at the mercy of stray animals or neighbors in the community. People, we are in a community where we rear animals. So animals will stray into your farm if you don't fence. Then if you don't plan for, simple irrigation, it may not be, we are even like 2 acres you can water. If you have 2 acres and then it is dry season, you can have at least 2 people helping you in that season. Each person carries 2, and you make sure at least every plant takes 10 liters. That will help you go through. So that myth that cocoa doesn't do well in the north, cocoa, is for Pundibujo, it is not applying. We have done it. Go to West Nile and see what James Baba has done there. Come here in Lansab region. I told you we now have farmers who have up to 30 acres. Okay, we started, but people came land, and now they are doing it. They have up to 30 acres. They are doing with the challenges, and we're helping them to maneuver through the challenges. But the whole thing is, it works. We are not promoting what is not working. We have demonstrated. People come and see. We are now raising quality seedlings to make sure that what people are taking up is what is tested. So again, I want to emphasize, you can buy seedlings from anywhere you want, but if you're looking for quality, where we get from a trusted source, that is our seedlings.
All right, as we conclude, Mr. Manager, you can take us through how can I or a farmer know that this cocoa seedling is fake or a good one?
Now that is difficult. That is difficult for seedlings, but there are some observation, some observable things that you can see, and then you know. First of all, a good cocoa seedling ready for transplant must not be less than 3 months old from the bed. Now, you can use your eyes to tell if this seedling, you get from me, you can use your eyes to tell if this seedling is 2 months old, and then if it is 3 months old. Now, for us, we have even gone beyond the standard, because you can keep these seedlings in the bed up to 8 months. It is only the cost of keeping that will affect you. Now, here we raise our seedlings in October. The last seedlings that we put in bed is December. By early January, the seeds are in bed. I think you can see for yourselves. All the seeds are now ready. All the seedlings are ready to go. But we are now keeping them so that you take them when they are 5 months. Others will be 6 months old. People who take seedlings from here will testify that they do not face challenges with adaptation in the mother garden. They establish very quickly, they adapt, and then simple things. So it is difficult for me to tell you, because at times there are those that will grow faster, but when they are young. But it now depends more on the seller. Okay, the seller should be honest enough. If you see a seedling like this, okay, a seedling like this, you can tell that this is mature, it is ready for transplanting, and we are in early March. Remember, people will start taking this thing probably somewhere around mid-March or late March. So this seedling you see here is now 5 months. These are the October seedlings. Okay? Yeah. So I am not going to answer you straight away, but this depends a lot on your observation. Then it depends a lot on how you take advice, because I've already hinted to you how old the seedling must be before transplanted. Then it will depend now on the honesty and integrity of the seller. If the seller is dishonest, we'll sell you seedlings of 2 months. I've had cases where I've had to go and replace the entire farm.
So what happens if you buy a seedling of less than?
This is not exactly. This is what I'm saying. I've had cases where I've had to replace the entire farm. Someone had planted 5 acres, but they were given. He was given seedlings 1.5 months old. Now, when it reached the farm, instead of growing, it started stunting. Okay, the seedlings started getting stunted. Then they also couldn't, adapt to the environment. They dried. Some are there, but so the guy just decided, please clear the entire garden. So you really need to be careful with where you get the seedlings and then the age, the maturity.
Okay, thank you. Maybe you can, in just 1 minute now, give the audience the location, the physical location of the farm, the contact, and how they can reach here.
Trinity Mixed Farmstead is located in Dokolo district, along Lira Soroti Road. If you are from Lira going towards Soroti, it is 5 kilometers to Dokolo town, in a trading center called Rego Rego. On your left, you see a signpost, Trinity Mixed Farm. This is the main area where we raise seedlings, but because of demand, we have decided to establish another site in Lira City, in Adwila, which is raising over 165,000 seedlings now, but it has a capacity of 200,000. So for those people who are from Oyam, Lira, Apache, where they will not have to come here. In the first years of our promotion, farmers suffered a lot. They used to, they would come and pick seedlings from Dokolo here, a lot of transport cost. But now We want this Dokolo Center to serve the people of TESO, Aleptong, Amolatar, Dokolo itself, you know. Then the later site will serve the other side, depending. But if this one gets done quickly, we can bring. We have enough seedlings we can bring. So you will get us in 2 locations. If you're looking for seedlings, you'll get us in Dokolo, then you'll get us in Lira City. All you need to do is to contact me on the phone numbers running on the screen. Then I will direct you where to find the seedlings. Each seedling goes for 1,000 shillings. Then you can pick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Your message now to the farmers?
Yeah, my message to the farmers: this is the time. The rain has come. Those who are not yet prepared early enough, please dig your holes. I said the basic information you need now is that we require a lot of rainfall, which our regions have. So you start preparing your garden. You dig your hole in a 3 by 3 meter spacing. Then you also plan for shade. If you don't have shade yet, plan for bananas. For those of you who want to establish commercially, or even if you want 1 acre and you're lacking, you know, labor and what have you, we can help you set up your farm. You can call and then we see whether you want 5 acres, 10 acres, we can help you set up the farm. It is not yet too late. Planting will begin late March up to around late May. So it is not yet too late. You come now, we start the process. Within 1 month, your garden is ready. You plant with the beginning of the rains. We encourage you to plant early. Planting should actually go up to May. Late May. If you are to extend in June, it shouldn't exceed mid-June. Yeah.